You're now a former Marlin. I mean, you spent so many years with that organization. How weird is that to now say that that's my past?
It's very weird. I could kind of see it coming. I didn't think it was going to happen this off season. I thought maybe I had until about All-Star break or maybe right before that. But it's the game is a business. You learn that really quickly. Whenever things start to when things go bad. Most times that's when it's when things start happening.
Was there a sense of betrayal at all?
No,
That they gave up on what they were trying to build?
a little. I could see trading me. Trading Buck, we're at last year of our contract. They're trying to, maybe shed some payroll, but to trade Reyes and Burley, I didn't get that. But I'm definitely happy to have those guys. They're good players, even better people. So I'm definitely excited to go with them up there to Canada.
You obviously saw the reaction of baseball fans in Florida when this happened. Can you understand why the fans in Miami are so outraged with what's going on?
Absolutely. They've gone through it a couple times. This is the third time, I guess, now, if you can really call this a total fire sale. But yeah, I mean, it's tough for them to go through. I mean, they've had such good players come through there, and then all of a sudden they're playing for another team. They end up going and being like Cabrera. Miguel Cabrera is one of the best hitter in the game, and he was a Marlin, and they could have kept him that way, but decided not to.
The entire time you're there, I mean, you knew what had happened and you know what was happening. Was there ever a sense in your mind that, it's just a matter of time before this happens again?
No, because I mean, I was on the other side of it last time. It was, in 2005, I had played with all those guys, and all of a sudden coming to spring training and I'm fighting for a job to be a starter. I would have probably anyway, but I would have been fighting 4 or 5 guys for one spot instead of, I ended up starting the season in the bullpen, but I ended up a month into the season I was in the starting rotation. So and I haven't looked back since, and so I've been on the other side of it to where I have kind of helped me out and help propel my career into being a starting pitcher.
Tell me about your relationship with Ozzie Guillen.
I love playing for Ozzie. He was, first of all, I think my kids loved him more than anything. He'd come in there. They'd come in almost every single game. They'd be in there, and he's joking with them, giving them candy. That's probably why right there that they liked him so much. But he kept it light. I mean, for how bad that we played, it was. I would expect a lot worse. From all the things you heard, that he blows up and does this, says that, and I don't ever read the papers or read what managers say. So I never got to see anything. If something happened like that, the whole Castro thing, I had no idea until he was having to go back to Miami. I had no idea what had happened until he was going to Miami. So that was 2 or 3 days later.
But I guess you can see he is the type of personality that guys are either going to love him or they're going to hate him, right? There's no middle ground with him.
Yeah, there's no middle ground. It's one or the other. And for the most part, it was, people liked him with the Marlins.
Nobody can really figure out how the Marlins were as bad as they were last year.
I don't know. I mean, it seemed like if something could go wrong, it went wrong at the worst time. We're starting to play better baseball as soon as right before the All-Star break. May we played, incredible baseball. I think April was kind of a whirlwind. It was all over the place. The opening of the stadium, it seemed like that was more important than winning. It was like the stadium. But, we need to win games. So it's flat out, we need to win games. And we didn't do it. May we played really well. Then all of a sudden, right before the All-Star break, Stanton goes down, gets hurt, has surgery. He's out for a month and a half. That's that killed us. You saw the year he had with being gone for a month and a half. You end up hitting 37 homers and missing that much time. It's we missed that.
Was there any times where it just wasn't fun to go to work?
I'm pretty good at keeping it in perspective, and it's always fun because that's what I love. I love baseball. I love playing the game. I love being a part of that the team and the camaraderie. But it was tough some days to go in there and because guys weren't happy. Whenever you're not winning, nobody's happy.
Take us through the day you found out about the trade and how it all transpired. Because I remember reading your quotes about it, and it just seemed to be a kind of a surreal moment in your life.
Yeah, we were all upstairs, playing like we're playing football with the kids or something. They're running at me, and I'm tackling them, and we're up there for probably about an hour. And then when I went downstairs to check my phone, I had 3 or 4 text messages from my agent. Call me ASAP, 911. Call me emergency. I'm just all right. And I see he had called me two times too, and then she did the same thing. Looked at her phone. Call Matt, my agent. And as soon as I called him, he's like, "Did you hear?" I'm like, no. And all of a sudden I hear MLB trade rumors comes up on my phone. Blue Jays close to acquiring Josh Johnson, and that's how I was like, well, is this, because I've been hearing trade rumors for about a year now, I guess, maybe a little more than that, but you never know if they're true or not. They could just be, people just saying one thing and couldn't even be close to what the truth is. And he's like, let me call Alex and see what he says. And then he said, yeah, it's true. It's like they're going to get you here in about 10 minutes, I think. So then Marlins GM called me, said about a 45-second conversation, thanks for everything you've done for us, and traded to the Blue Jays. After that, we were both just like, wow, this is what do we do? We have no idea where we're going to live for spring. I think we had pretty much everything set up for spring training and the season for next year in Miami, and so it was definitely something different.
It's got to hit you like a ton of bricks.
Oh yeah, it does. It's just shock. I had no idea. I've been with the Marlins since 2002 when they drafted me. So it's been a long time, and definitely weird. But I like that color blue.
I was going to say, how nice does that sound now? Josh Johnson, Toronto Blue Jays.
I like it. I'm excited. We have a really good team. I'm excited to play in a new environment. Something besides Miami. It was fun there, but just like I said, I want to start that new chapter.
Alex Anthopoulos, you were the lynch point, like you were the thing that he originally had asked for, and it wasn't just a few months ago. He's been interested in you for a while. Were you at all aware of the fact that there was that interest from the Blue Jays, even back then?
No, not. I remember. Just the things that you read about, or actually my agent tells me about. He said, he always said a couple teams, and then. It'd be kind of like, actually some of my teammates said something about the Blue Jays at the trade deadline last year. And I was like, it doesn't matter. I was like, I just want to win. That's it. That's all I want to do. Ever since I was, 3 years old, when I saw that World Series parade in Minnesota, I wanted to win a World Series. That's it. It's the only thing I've ever wanted. And, it's still the same. So I don't care where I went. I knew it was my time there was coming to an end. I didn't know where I was going to go, but Toronto is a good fit, I think.
I remember asking you on your conference call about, wanting to stay there long term, and, all you care about is winning. But there's going to be a certain point as the season goes on, and I know we asked Alex about this, and he said, normally I don't do extensions before the season. And last year, I think it was around the time of the All-Star break where they did the extension with Edwin Encarnacion. Mm-hmm. But at this point, from what you've seen of the organization and the possibility of what this team can do as a unit, I'm assuming you're at least open to talk if Alex says, hey, Josh, we'd love to have you long term here.
I'm open to anything. I'm a very open-minded person. I never, kind of close any doors. But that's the last thing on my mind is worrying about where I'm playing next year. I'm so excited for this year and right now and what this team can do. That's just what I'm looking forward to, and kind of let everything, take care of itself.
When I talked to you earlier about, guys are a little bit apprehensive about Toronto, you seemed a little bit surprised that there was that perception out there. Do you, from what you see and people you talk to, is Toronto, and if it wasn't before, is it now a desirable place for players? Do you think that there's a perception out there that, this is an organization I'd like to go play for?
I'd never really heard anything about it, besides with John Buck. Last year he said a couple things, organization's great, everybody in the front office, awesome. And that's all you heard about. So I don't really know. I would think it's a little more attractive now with the players they have long term. But people talk about the taxes and all that stuff. But you win a World Series and it doesn't matter. You go to the playoffs and you get that chance to win a World Series. None of that matters anymore. It's all about winning.
I know JP was probably one of the first guys to reach out to you from the team. What can you tell us about how that conversation went, and how thrilled were you to have, your catcher reach out to you and say, hey, look forward to be working with you,
Awesome, and even better that I'd met him last offseason. We actually had worked out at the same place. The place he works out in the offseason, that's where I rehabbed while I was hurt 2 years ago. So, it was nice to meet him, and he made some jokes about me coming up there, and actually Marco Scudero was saying some stuff too, so he works out with them too. And no, it was just nice to to have someone that you actually know, someone that you actually have a little bit of a relationship with. And we texted every now and then just to joke around. And then whenever he texted me, he said, welcome to the team. And I've been watching video on you already, and we'll get you right.
That's cool, though, that he's already watching video of you.
Yeah, it's it shows you what kind of professional he is. He's serious about his job, and I love that about a catcher.
It's one thing to be traded to another team. And you're going from the National League to the American League, but you're going to a new country. I mean, there's got to be some questions that you may have. And I know, speaking to Alex and speaking to JP, they both said, hey, we're here. If he has any concerns about what that's going to be like, you having to go through customs, just any little things when we do a country that you may have concerns with. I mean, you got to learn the metric system.
I know. Yeah, I got to
just driving on the highway and seeing 100. You know that you can't go 100 miles an hour, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be different. We're gonna figure it out, and I think it'll be a good, fun experience for us.
But it's nice, like you mentioned too. There is some Canadian ties in your family.
Yeah. My dad born in Canada, so I know he's really excited for this, and I am too. And I don't think it could work out any better way.
Let's talk a bit about your shoulder. How's it doing? And I know that you've had some issues. You first to admit you really haven't done what you would like to do on the mound consistently in the last bit. Where are you at now?
Shoulder feels great. Last year, not one problem with my shoulder. I made it through the whole season without even a weird tightness, or which you usually get during a season. During a long season, it'll pop up somewhere. But yeah, I think I started working out at our physical therapy place here, where we work out in the mornings, and ever since then, that shoulder program that he has is top notch. And guys that have played for the Blue Jays, Reed Johnson, Frank Thomas used to go there, Josh Towers, all those guys worked out there. So, and I hear nothing but great things about the training staff with the Blue Jays. So I'm excited, definitely excited to continue that process.
You look up and down this rotation now; it's pretty darn solid top to bottom. So, who's the ace in your mind?
I think Morrow, man. He is. I don't know much about him, but I've seen him pitch a couple times, and he is nasty, absolutely nasty. So, he definitely has the makings.
I asked Alex that same question. He says, I don't necessarily say that we need to have an ace, but if we have 5 starters that can all go out and win 15, 20 games, who knows, right? I mean, that's how deep this rotation can be.
Absolutely. And it all starts with staying healthy, and that's not easy to do. But you got to find a way to do it. You got to find a way to go out there every 5th day, get outs, give our team a chance to win. Because you look at that offense too. That offense is incredible. Defense is incredible. It's going to be fun.
I was going to ask you, if you were an opposing pitcher and you looked at that lineup that went, Reyes, Cabrera, Bautista, Encarnacion, I mean,
even Lowry. I think Lowry's way underrated. I mean, he's a good player. We had one series against him last year, so I didn't really have much with him. But I threw a couple good pitches to him, and he stayed on them, and hit a couple balls to center field. And good thing it was in Miami and not Toronto.
It'd be a real tough lineup to prepare for if you're a pitcher, isn't it? Because you got power speed all the way down.
It's got a little bit of everything. So it's you gotta be on top of your game.
Got a couple of new guys that you're going to be working with as far as the coaching and managing. Pete Walker, John Gibbons. Have you had a chance to speak to either one of those? And what were your first impressions on your new manager and your pitching coach?
Gibbons, I talked to him for maybe 2 minutes, and he just said, hey, it was right after Thanksgiving, and it might have been the day before Thanksgiving. I can't remember when it was, but it was right around then. He said, I just want to reach out to you and tell you that we're excited to have you, and excited for this season, and that's pretty much it. Have a happy holidays, and we'll talk to you whenever things kind of calm down. And then Pete kind of said the same thing. He was just like, you know what you need to do to get ready for the season. You know what you need to do in spring training. We're gonna keep that line of communication open. You need anything from me? If I need anything from you, just call or text, whatever you need.
Every kid wants to be famous or be this or be that, but at some point in your life you have to say, yeah, I want to be a major league ball player. Where did that all begin for you?
87 World Series parade for sure. I don't know if I had started playing baseball yet. I think I maybe just started playing t-ball, because I know I started when I was 3. But just going to that parade, and I saw all those people and how happy and excited everybody was, and I was like, man, this is where it's at. This is what I want to do. And I think when I was 5 years old, I wrote in some book that I want to be a Hall of Fame baseball player. So I mean, it's been in there for a long, long time, and you know, hopefully can achieve the World Series one soon.
How tight was your family growing up? Your parents, your brothers, sisters, and all that.
I got 4 older brothers, and we were all pretty tight. I mean, we were 2 years apart all the way up, but we had so many sports going on. It was they're going here, everywhere. So, but I think my brothers and my parents definitely shaped how much shaped me as a person, for sure. I mean, the beatings I had to take and all that stuff from my brothers, it was well worth it.
You the youngest of the group?
Youngest of 5 boys. Yep.
So you're the youngest of 5 boys, and you're a little kid, and you come up to your brothers and you go up to mom and dad and say, guess what, guys? I figured out what I'm going to do for a living. I'm going to be a Major League Baseball player. Do they laugh at you? Do they say, sure you will? What's the response, and how do they, at some point they have to understand that, oh wow, this kid's got a chance. This could happen.
I think my brothers probably laughed, I'm sure, but they had the same dreams too. All of them loved baseball or basketball. And then my mom was like, you're going to do that. My mom was always so supportive of me. You're going to do that one day. You're going to be the best pitcher, best player one day. My dad was, pretty quiet, but you could tell he was like, I'm going to help you out any way I can. It might not be baseball, might not be sports, could be something else, but whatever I can do to help you, I'm going to do it. Because he never forced baseball on me, never forced any sport. It was just, if you love it, go play it.
What does it mean to have them in the crowd when you pitch? Or are they ever in the crowd when you pitch?
Yeah, I mean, last year they were there quite a bit, so it was awesome. It's nice to have them there. I haven't had all my brothers there for a game. I don't think, not yet. Had 4 of them for the All-Star game in '09, but one of them or 3 of them in the All-Star game for '09, and one of them was overseas in the Navy, so he was the only one missing.
Any plans of a big reunion in Toronto this summer?
I hope so. Hopefully we can get something together, and yeah, hopefully October-ish.
So growing up, there's got to be a point in your life where you put the ball in your hand for the first time and you get those dreams and those visions of wanting to be a major league player. When did that happen, and who is responsible for that dream becoming a reality to you?
Definitely my dad. I mean, he played baseball. I mean, he played every sport growing up, and he never, forced it on me. Like I said, he was never, that guy that was like, you have to do this, you need to do this, you need to go to practice. It was all, if you love it, you'll play it. It's like, it doesn't matter if it's baseball, basketball, football, hockey. It doesn't matter. So, he was always there to take me to practice or games, and we were playing 170 games a year for 4 or 5 years. I mean, sometimes we're in 2 tournaments at one time, and one weekend we're in 2 different tournaments, so we're having to drive here, and back and forth. And after I got in the big leagues, I definitely need to thank my wife for that. She's been so supportive of me and always been there for me.
And it's funny too, as you become a parent yourself, and you all of a sudden start to understand the sacrifices your parents had to make for you.
Wow, yeah. Especially my parents having 5 boys in 8 years. I don't know how my mom did it. I don't know how she did it, because my dad was always working and she was staying at home with us, and it's incredible. I have 2 boys, and sometimes I feel overwhelmed.
3 more to go?
No. Girl, hopefully a girl next.
Yeah.
That'd be it.